Hello, everybody. Sorry. Hi. Hi, artists. How are you doing today? Stephanie Aune. I'm back here in Concord, California. It was a whirlwind trip to Wyoming. I don't know what today is. I think it's the 28th. And I am diving into the Circus book, full bore here. Coming up with some great ideas. And I found my other images that I was looking for, so I actually have some even cooler circus images to share with you. Some fun stuff. So I've got a couple of ideas here. I'll just show you real quick. So how about that for the front and that for the inside? This is pretty awesome, huh? Isn't that a gorgeous image? And then you've seen my images of the tattooed lady. Look at this wonderful advertisement. I don't know if that was a magazine cover or what, but again, some great ideas with those. And then I actually have the picture of this woman who has a bunch of birds sitting on her shoulders. So this will be the front, and then on the inside will be the actual woman. So many cool things with that. Oh, I got so much stuff to share with you on what's going on in the book. So I believe you were watching me do this one in the basement. Not positive on that. Cool stuff though, huh? And I figured out what I'm going to put in the center, which I don't know what to do today because I've been working on the next page also. Now this I didn't record because I was working on, I was talking on the phone. 1, 2, 3, right? Little doors. This is our curiosities. And so this page will have the same thing underneath. So I will construct this second page with you pretty close. It probably won't be exactly the same way that I did this one, because after I had put the doors in, I put these strips on. So it's going to have a little bit different feel, but not too much. The little doors are pretty heavy. They're made out of, again, the cedar plank that I get out of the cigar boxes. But you can use a piece of chipboard, super easy. Just a little bit thicker piece of cardboard to stiffen up the flaps that are cut out of this page. So the pictures will be put onto this page. The doors will be cut out on this page. Cool, huh? Fun stuff! It's exciting. All the different ideas that I have are now just... And then check out this check. Another thing I was working on today. Can you see her swinging and flipping? Flip, flip. Cool stuff, huh? So, all sorts of fun ideas. You know, once I get started on these things, the challenge for me is that I want it to be as interesting as possible. I think I forgot to do anything with my hair. Sorry. Oh, Susan, you got the magazine today. Awesome. So cool. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you guys for your well wishes and all your wonderful comments lately. I do really appreciate them. I've had it means a lot. It means a lot when you send me your good wishes. It really does. So thank you so much for your comments. I'm going to shut you off, and then I will bring you back down when you will be at the table, and you'll see what. Let's fix this guy up. Let's finish this guy. I think that would be a great plan. I would love to have a second page done on this. So the colors, aren't they awesome? I don't know if you can tell. I'm probably best here. So it's kind of got this silvery gray. Oh, so many different fun things to play with on this page. It's been great. I really have enjoyed getting into it and seeing these images. Just, they're cool. All right, we'll chat in a little bit. Bye. Hi guys, back again. Now, of course, I'm looking once again. I had the piece right here. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Here's some more really cool images. Gotta do a page with that, right? With the shooting out of the cannon. I think that one would be fun. The strong woman. Some cool pictures here. I love this one where she's holding up the 3 guys. Another fortune teller. That one's really cool. This guy, I've got great ideas for that. And of course, you have your horsewomen. Look at that. Look at that image. Incredible. And jumping and tricks. Super cool. That one was from Water for Elephants. It's a kind of a heartbreaking book about the circus. Water for Elephants is about the circus. Then a bunch of clowns, the animals. This woman, she has quite a few photos with her and her lions. These all came off of the internet, off of Google Images, and I just search and search and search and search for images. These ones were really cool. These women used to dress up in these like parachute type dresses and do a butterfly type act. And I don't know if they were part of the circus. Maybe it was a vaudeville thing. Not quite sure. Isn't this a neat photo though? Awesome! So, all right. And I get sidetracked. I'm still looking for my goodies. Where is it? All right. Am I gonna have to turn you off just so that I can find this one single thing? Oh gosh, it's under here. I don't need to know about your update. Sorry. Hopefully that wasn't bothersome to you. Hopefully you guys are here. I have my camera like super close to my... You're almost looking down from the same view as I do. So, this. Let's talk about this for a second. Back when I did Back to the Basics Part 1 frame page, and I talked about how to make the single frame, but then all of the different things that if you set it up this way, where you can sandwich something in between it, that you can do pretty much so anything you want to in between these windows, and you can hide whatever's there, right? So that was how I figured out how to really manipulate the mediums to do what I wanted it to do. So then what I do is I created a frame, and the frame is out of this white cardboard. So it was kind of a thin cardboard, but I just cut out a frame to the same size as this. Not to this page. I had remembered that I had this at home because I made this probably months and months and months ago. So I'm looking at that frame, and then I had some wire, some bead wire. And this I think I got at Fire Mountain Gems. It's an online bead store. You could probably get bead wire. I would assume they probably have it on Amazon. They have everything on Amazon, right? So what I did was I poked some holes into that white frame that's underneath of there. You can kind of see the white frame. Poke some holes, and then I just ran that bead wire and I looped it through. So you can see I went from there to there to there to there to there, and then back up to here and down and back up to there. And then, oh, and I must have gone over here and then come down there. So I just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. And it was kind of too cool of a piece to put into that particular book that I was working on. And I knew that I would need to use it later on. So, okay, so then I had all of this. Let's see if you can see this. You see how thick this is through here? In here? So what I did was I put some extra glue down, and the wire had caused some raising, and there still is that raising there. But what I did was I took probably some tacky glue, and I clamped it to try to make it as thin as I could possibly get it. And when I put on the clamps, I'm like, oh, I didn't want to get the glue everywhere, so I put on these pieces of cardboard, really light cardstock, over the top of it, and then I smushed it all together. I just took some of my rulers and clamped the rulers. Oh, where's my rulers? I took one on each side, and then just took some regular paper clamps like this on each side of it, and when you do that, it really compacts that cardboard. So that's how I made this particular piece. And it fits the book, it fits this frame widthwise. Because remember, I'm back in Concord now. When I started to make this, I was in Casper, which was just a few days ago. Not very long ago at all. And I think what I want to do is make this bottom one less than a ½ inch. Let's see how much here. Okay, I'm going to have my ruler. Give it to me. Where's the ruler? I would say it's 1 millimeter down safely, but let's only cut out like 7 millimeters. No, 0.7? 0.7? Or under a ¼ inch, whatever feels right to you if you're doing the same thing. I basically am just trying to fit that frame in there just a little bit better. Okay. And okay, so we're going to have to cut both of these at the same time, but I think I want to have as much control as possible over the situation. So I'm just going to do it one at a time. I'm taking it down to the top of that lettering and to... Ow, don't do that. That doesn't feel good. Don't bleed. Top of that lettering. Seriously. You can tell I'm used to pain, huh? Uh-huh. It's more of an inconvenience than a pain. It just sucks, you know. Okay, so there's kind of a little bit of a distressing here where this was cut through, but I don't mind that at all. And you see where the, can you tell that? This is where the pieces of paper that I glued on here, that's the texture from them underneath of there. One thing that I did also do with this is you'll see, I think I did all this on camera, where I put the distressed oxides down and I painted it with some of the copper paint. What else did I use? Copper paint. I did a base layer. See, here's the copper paint. What were the other paints that I used? How did I get that? I can't remember. I'm going to have to watch the video. And, so I had really a nice color on it. But then what I did, and then I took, I don't have, oh, these are the markers. Come on, buddy. So I do have this set of distressed crayons. And I don't use these very often. I generally use the gelatos. They're essentially very similar products. But what I did was I went through and I just kind of pushed a little bit more color into those cracks. Because I just wanted to bring the red through a little bit more here. So I'm just trying to kind of stay within my same color scheme of the kind of the reds and the golds that I have going here. And this, I was going to play with this a little bit and see what I can do here. It remember this got just a little bit muddy. I don't know if I can take it off. I don't think I could take off any of that with the alcohol, because it's been Mod Podged over Distress Oxide, so it kind of clogs the pores, shall we say, for lack of a better term. And I probably could remove some of that Distress Oxide color, but let's just see if we can enhance what we have happening here. And I have a tendency to be careful with where I put my color down. I'm not the type where I'm going to go through and put it all over everything, because I think that's how you get a very monotone or kind of... Yeah, you don't want every single bit of paper to have the exact same coloring all the way through. But that's just me. That's kind of... I like to select where I'm going to put my colors. And the Distress Crayon really does seem to bring out... I mean, look at how gorgeous that is, right? Wowza. Love this background. And it does have the effect that I want, which is looking really... I want it to be pretty and interesting, but I also do want to make it look as vintage as possible. Ooh, that's working well. Just taking that red along the edge there. Look how gorgeous that is. So these are a different stencil up here than the circle. And putting a lot of this red in, but I really like the effect of it. So we got that. All right. Let's bring in a little bit. This dark blue actually gave a really nice color also. So that is like the peacock feathers from the Distress Oxide. I think a lot of the Distress Oxides actually have very similar tones, to where I don't think that you need to have a huge amount of them. I have a pretty large, I have almost the full... Hello, I'm back again. My phone ran out of storage, but I think what happened was I had deleted a bunch of stuff and it didn't clear out until you go in and you physically say delete. And then it deleted some, I think. Hopefully I have more room to record. I don't think I have that many recordings on here, but I guess I did work for a while the other day. So I'm just kind of adding in some of these greeny yellows, and I know it's kind of an interesting color, but again, it does give us a contrast. And I also do want it to look grungy. Grungy. It gives an interesting tone, that's for sure. Pull it over the top of this. This really does have some beautiful texture. I kind of am sad that I've lost some of that copper coloring there. I think it would be nice if I could try to bring that up a little bit back. I think I will try that here in just a second. Let me just get a little bit more of this color here in between. That got a little too blue right there. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. Cool, cool, cool. I like it. I like it at least, and hopefully you do also. Okay, let's look here. I need one of my little sponges. I have no idea where my sponges are. I got this. Maybe this will help. This will work. As y'all know, isopropyl alcohol, if you've watched me at all. Ooh. Well, let's get out a paper towel. Isopropyl alcohol brings up a lot of stuff. And we've used water-soluble materials, but a lot of those materials have been covered over by Mod Podge. So it's hard to say what we'll actually get back here. of that original bronze color. I don't want all of it back, and I like what is happening, so I have to say I'm happy. Right, I got a little smudged up right there. I wonder if this will work. A little scrub on there. It did. It did work. Let's see if it'll work on this. A little bit. Oh, there it is. Pretty. It gets very sticky. So just be careful when you're doing this not to, you know, hurt your paper. Okay. I suppose I could do this later, huh? Ooh. And here the stencil actually is very thin. It's not a thick stencil at all, which I probably should have made it thicker. So let's see here what we can get. Coming back here. There we go. Nice. Nice grunge. Let's see here. I want a little bit more glimmer on this side. Beautiful. Absolutely. Come on, just a touch more. Come on, Doodle Bob. All right, now let's bring a little bit more of this back in here. Accentuate our what we want, darken it down. Look how beautiful that purple is in there. And again, these are distress crayons. So this was, see this preserves. This was a set. Can't tell you which one it is. Festive berries, fossilized amber, peeled paint, chipped sapphire, and rusty hinge. Those are the colors. But I truly think that you definitely do not need to have the exact colors I have. You don't need to have the exact stuff that I have. You just have to learn how your products work together, you know, and how to make them harmonize in the best way. So this is obviously something that I will be using throughout this book because, wow, look at how gorgeous that comes out. Between the distress oxides and these distress crayons. That's some pretty work there, Mr. Holt. Tim Holt. He's a designer for Ranger. If you hear people talk about him, which most of you know that, but maybe somebody doesn't. Somebody might have stumbled across my channel that hadn't really done it before, but is looking at different fun things to try. The circus book theme, I would highly suggest. The images are awesome. Of course, I don't want to romanticize the abuse that was, you know, done to the animals. I think that, you know, the circus was good for, you know, people that didn't really fit in anywhere else. You know, even though they were a sideshow, I think that they were, you know, given some decency and respect, hopefully. Although there was a image that I came across with two, I don't know if they were Aborigines or black people that I think were albinos, and so they were part of the show, but they were actually, I believe, slaves. That was kind of a sad story to read. Look at how gorgeous that purple is with that copper. So I didn't put them, I didn't save that image because, you know, I just don't think that that was, you know, a proper way to be treating people. Of course. So, I definitely careful on the images that I choose of people with animals, because I know that a lot of animal abuses happen. And personally, I don't think that that's a very good thing. This is not my style. So I don't want to propagate anything evil, you know? All right, ooh, field paint. Let's grunge it up. Look at that gorgeous little addition of color. I'm going to be a little bit less generous with this, but it will give contrast. Look at that beautifulness. Just here and there. Let's see, I want to bring some over here, along that line, along there. Let's pull a little bit more of the blue in through here. I'm accentuating the cracks, you know, and there's always a chance that you go too far with this. You know, you don't want to overwork it, but on the other hand, it's adding a really nice contrast to the piece. So I do take a risk that it won't, you know, that it'll be too much. But on the other hand, if I wouldn't do it at all, I would miss out on all this beautiful color. So you kind of have to take that risk. And as this is distressed crayon, I believe it stays water soluble. So you should be able to, you know, remove it or, you know, tame it down a bit. I don't like how dark that got right there. So let's go back and take some of that out. That line is really dark right there. And I'm pushing it towards the edge because I do want to push that down into the cracks a little bit more. Let's just see what happens. I like what's happening, so I continue to do it with the colors here, right? Beautiful. Let's just kind of... This is just a very lightly damp brush, and it is just kind of... melting that crayon. The crayon is still on there. I'm just kind of similar to watercolor brushing, I suppose. Right? Beautiful. Love that. Love those colors. Love the texture. I'm going to put a little bit more water on this. See what else I can pull up here as I play with this a little bit more. Really, really hit away. I'm just trying to bring it back just a touch, because that gold crackle paste, or copper crackle paste, is really beautiful stuff. As you know, that is one of my favorite tools. It's the Art Extravaganza copper paste. It'll be in my supply list. Let's see, when was the last time I put up the supply list? Go back a couple of videos, and you'll probably be able to see the supply list. Let's see what we can do here. A little blending. That's good. Beautiful. I think I like that just like it is. Let's see what we got up here. That's distressed oxide that's moving like that. It's a little chalkier than the crayon. It's that chalky blue color. There we go. Gorgeous. I wish this was just a little bit Let's see if I can't get that a little bit more copper. That hurts where I poked my finger. How dirty are my fingernails? Boy, I need a manicure. Oy. I haven't had a manicure forever. And it was so dry in Wyoming. My skin is like, oh, get me back to California. I'm going to dry up and fall off. It kind of is. Anyway. All right. Okay, so I kind of left that raggedy bit there. I liked that raggedy bit. Let's see here. Hopefully this is the right size. Looks like that is the perfect size, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay. So, let's, whoops. Do that on that. Now, probably not the best to do this with. Let's think about this here. Let's see what we want to edge this with. Could use the watercolor brushes. They're packed away still. Paint brushes. Inks. Where are my inks? I think they're still packed. And this guy's pretty dead. Okay. Well, that's a pretty cool deli sheet. Let's not waste that. Let's see what we got. What do we got? Ooh, we got some ugly paper. Perfect. Ugly paper in the garbage can. I'm just trying to get all those edges, because a white edge will look really stark against the coloring. And we also want to make sure, there we go. This is really dead. Let's go ahead and use the black. Oh, black's really dead too. It is time to get some black ink. I didn't think it was this bad. Gorgeous. You see how it now has a framed edge right there? That's what we want. We want the frame. Now, don't get the marker underneath. We're just trying to make sure that the edges are covered. We don't want that white. If you want it, go for it. Truly, it's, you know, this is just how I do it. Right? Because I like it one way doesn't mean you gotta like it that way. There we go. I think I want to put a little tape right there, maybe. I don't know if I need it, though. Okay. Now, let's get sure I didn't draw on that. What did I do right there? And a little marker thingy. Okay, you gotta be careful with this because it has a tendency, it could pick up and damage her face a little bit, and we don't want her face damaged. It's already got some ink on it from prior stuff that I was doing. So I want her to be as visible as possible. But you have to be super careful. So that got the Stazon off, but it's also made her very sticky. I'm just lightly brushing her and trying to take some of it off because it will kind of change the texture of the paper too if it's too heavy. Gorgeous. It's better. It's better. Got her face back just a little bit. And she has a very pretty face. Whoever the artist did a great job. I don't know who the artist is on this. I don't know if it's an old illustration or a new one, honestly. I have changed it enough from its original intention that it should not be a copyright issue. So you see how we no longer have any issues with seeing. I can see a little bit of that right there. So let's just pull this along, make sure our paper's in here. Oops, see? Gotta be careful of that. Just a light bit, right? Makes all the difference, though. Now, I could be doing this with black, of course, or brown. You don't have to use red. I like the contrast that the red gives, and also with the beads, it'll match well. All right, let's get this guy cut out here. So, we want it to go down to here. So I think that was a letter. Yeah, it is. Can do a straight line on it. Lining it up with the letters on the page. Going just under that line. And to there. Just kind of doing that a little bit crookedy because this cool piece of paper here, we want to not have something stark after that. Okay. Put this away. Oh, it's funny. Somebody made a comment the other day on one of my alcohol ink bottles, and she was telling me that I needed to be in a ventilated room and I could have set my table on fire. Made me laugh. Yes, I know. I actually got really lucky that I didn't, and I continued to do that over and over. So, you know, the more ventilation you can have, the better off you are. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that little bit there. I think it's fine. I like that dark red with it. I think it'll be just fine. Just making sure. So, now you see, due to the page being open and closed, if you stand it upright, it's perfectly even, right? But when you open it or close it, you get this shifting of the pages. And you can address it two different ways. I am going to address it where I am going to put these two pages together straight upright, because that's how I want it to look. You could easily offset it to where it's, you know, it would be more forced to sit on one side. Yeah, I'm looking here at these edges. I think that I like them okay the way they are. Oh, this is the marker. Are these all water soluble also? I haven't used these. Same color scheme though. Gorgeous. Let's just color the edges. Make sure that we don't have any whites in there. Right? Yeah, alright. Alright, alright, alright. There we go. I don't know if I told you guys the good news. Looks like the offer has been accepted on the cabin. And we're just waiting for the inspections to be done. And barring anything comes back bad on that, I'll be living up in the woods in about a month. That's crazy. My job has officially ended. As of today. Well, January 31st, but I'm technically on Christmas break, so yeah, I'm done with work. Moved everything out on Thursday, a week ago. Took the crazy drive across country. Came back right away after a bout of craziness. I don't want to go into any detail with that, but it just wasn't fun. I did not have a good Christmas. I hope you guys had a much better Christmas than I did. I do have to say, it was very cool to see my nieces and nephews. They're pretty awesome creatures. Beings. Smart. Talented. Pretty phenomenal kids. My brother's kids. I have 4 brothers. Okay, so I'm just gonna the edges on this. We have to address these edges. And I just kind of grabbed this metallic green because it's sitting here, for one. But number 2, red and green contrast. And we do have bits of green in this, right? And so I'm not looking for a Christmas theme at all. I'm looking for something that accentuates the color this color, right? And that goes through, I need to quit saying right. All right. Yeah, let's see here if I can get this painted. This paintbrush is no bueno. See how flimsy it is? And it doesn't stay together. And that's a POS. POS paintbrush. Are you guys evened up here okay? I think so. Let's find a stiffer bristle here. Want something fine enough to get into the holes and the deep spots. This is not fun to watch. I'm sorry that I didn't do this beforehand. I didn't even think about it, to be honest, but I don't want that white tape to show. So I think I had initially taped it down with white tape, and then I went through athletic tape, and then I went back in with the glue. Get in there. Yucky. Kind of pretty edges. The thing that you have to realize is the longer that you take when you're prepping a piece, if you do this work properly now, it makes all the difference with your work at the end. You know, you can take a little bit of extra time to edge this properly. And, you know, take pride in your work. That's I think is a huge important thing. Is there's no reason to be sloppy or lazy. I don't like either one of those words in my artwork. It doesn't exist. You know, but going to art school, of course, they, you know, if they saw laziness, it was not allowed. They were destroyed for it, you know. Okay, there's one side done. I'm trying not to get on the beads. I'm getting on the beads a little bit. I'm not going to be that super cautious about it. I'm going to be careful about it, but you know, that might get on there. Again, I don't know if that's really a bad thing though, like especially at the tops. I think it could create contrast. I'm not going to try to get it on the beads. I think a little variety is okay. Yeah, I'd probably go through and wipe it off, actually. I don't know. I don't know. The more careful you are, the better it'll be. That's my opinion. Okay, hopefully I can cut all this out. But I knew I needed to use some acrylic paint on this because I had to cover the glue. And this tape, this was not going to be an ink project. It needed to be covered with paint. Right. Beautiful. And I love the contrast with that green. I just do. Don't use the colors if you don't like the colors. Use what colors make you happy. This book is going to have a lot of stronger colors in it. Less of the browns, more... Although everything is still going to be very vintage. I really shouldn't give any definites on anything because I don't know how the one page is going to look from the next, right? I actually have pretty good vision on it, but... And see, it actually looks quite pretty. I've gotten the paint on some of these already. It actually does look good. Look how pretty that looks. Let's bring it on down. Now that I've done it a little bit more, I can see it, and I like it. Because it is a metallic green. Ooh, we don't want to dump those. And I don't want to do it all the way up. I just want to do it along these edges. And that will create a more of a frame for the center also. Right. It'll draw the attention to the center. That's what I mean when I say create a frame for the center. Now, I can't say I love that part there. Get it down in there. Okay. Beautiful. Perfection. Okay, since this is wet, let's move this out of the way. I need to get wet paint all over. How's your hands? Hands are doing okay. All right. I need some clamps. Let me show you how that green looks. Nice, huh? Even right in there, I like that little strip of green. Perfect. And especially with her, it's going to work really well to mimic some of these colors and bring them in and through. Okay, so let's think about this for 1 second now. Next thing we have to look at is construction. So we've got some deep edges here that don't have a transition, let's say. All right, once I glue this in though, I might have a really hard time working on this book because I need to clamp this overnight. I'm going to actually tear a little bit of this off. There we go. And since I actually want to work on this page a little bit more, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to clamp this until tonight. So what I'm looking at here is there a way to cut this down a little bit to where it's not quite so thick and abrupt, so I can have a smoother transition to here to here, and here to here, and here to here. What I'm thinking that I should actually do is to do some thin strips, at least some thin. I don't know if I have to worry about it here. I probably should though. This frame size needed to be the size of the page. Less, you know, you don't want to have it be too much in here because then you're putting a lot of added stress on there right off the bat. I love the green that's coming through here. Very subtle touches, but that's what makes the difference for me as an artist as I look at it. I like that. Let me look at something here real quick. I want to see if I can get any of this I'm sad about that. Okay, I'm going to glue that puppy back on there. There we go. My hands have enough glick on them that it's just kind of blending the rest of it in. Okay, so I am going to shut this off. We'll come back later on when I glue those pages in. I'll show you how I do it. I'll probably make some little pieces that fit in there, the transition. Maybe I should do that right now. This is cardstock. This will give us a little transition. Okay, so this is thicker piece or is it thinner piece? Let's put the thinner piece to the inside. not being scientific. So what I'm doing is building a minimal spacer, right? So it's not going to add a lot of bulk, but it will give us a little bit of a transition from here to there. See? Since this piece of cardboard is very thick-ish, not super thick, I guess, we do still need that transition though. So let's do that. That thumb hurts. Oh, gosh. I wonder if maybe I should glue in one side first and then raise it up and glue on the other side. I could try to do that. I don't know if that's the smart way to do it because I think I want to have pressure on it. Don't know. I don't know. You can tell I want to put it in, can't you? I really should have done all sides at the same time. What was I thinking? Alright, and this goes down to about the bottom. Here. And we want to build it up on the sides here a little bit. Okay, we're going to go down. There we go. Really stuck. Oh, tacky glue gets so annoying. I mean, it's a nice thick glue, but goodness, it gets annoying. Drives me crazy. Can't sing that guy's song at all. Fine Young Cannibals. Oh, she drives me crazy. You drive me crazy, and I can't help my foot. Maybe I'll go through and paint this edge green here too. Or the red. The red probably would be just fine. And if you don't understand why I'm doing this, again, I'm doing it so that when I close the book and I put these two pages together, I don't know if I should lift this, it'll make a smoother transition from skinny to the fatness of the insert. Okay, I'm just trying to create a transition spot because I don't want it to be an abrupt piece of cardboard in there. And if you just have an abrupt piece of cardboard, you're going to have a bad fold on the outside. You know, your paper is going to fold. I don't want that. I want smooth. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous. Now, I've got this little thingy here, which I can actually hang something from here if I want to. And I'm going to leave that until I decide. I don't know what I would put there. Gotta be something cool I can put there, right? Now this doesn't have that little transition piece. I think I will put it in just because. Why not? I want to cut this down right there. I don't want this transition to fight with that transition. See? That one will be just fine. Let's see. Just a quick coat here. Why, you might say? Well, because you might see the white. I don't want to see the white. There might be a little gap there. If you see the white, then it's ugly. Will you ever see it? I don't know. Will you ever see it now? Will you ever risk seeing it? Nope. Okay then. That's why I'm doing it. Takes 2 seconds to do it really well, right? Does take a little bit of extra effort. Darn right it does. We don't want to paint accidentally something else. That would be a bad thing. You see that ugly white edge right down there? No white edges. Do the same for this side. Where's that paper? More ugly paper. I'm cleaning out ugly paper, so trying to clean out the yuckiness. A little green edge is fine. Too much won't be. Right? Really, Tommy? It's not that bad. You're okay. I know you've had a stressful time, darling. Yes, I talk to my stomach. I gotta keep it calm. And it's really hard to do sometimes. Right? Life is not an easy thing. Okay, I think that might have dried enough with the tacky glue on that side, so if I you see how that green shows up there? There. I mean, it shouldn't be seen, but it might be. And it looks a lot better seeing that than it would anything else. Okay, let's go ahead and finish it up. I can take a break for a while and let it dry. Come on, buddy. I guess I need to go get some more tacky. I'm almost out. So I'm trying to keep it from the very edge because I don't want it to ooze over too much. I wonder where all my wooden rulers are. So they work really nicely as clamps. See how I needed the bridge? So that you don't have an absolute harsh bouncing line in between the two. It makes it a transition line. Because this now technically needs to dry up and down like this so that the pages are even. The depth is even, you know. Okay, let's see what I can do here to, where are they? I've got this guy. And I've got that little 6-incher. Where's the little 6-incher? Looking. There it is. So it's super important that this sticks down, stays together. Clamp, 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 clamp. I used them all on my journal packs. Oh, I can't find them. Okay, that's not liking that very much, is it? How about we go through the center here? Oh, come on, buddy. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can't push this down a little bit more. I got it to work. Now I need to get it in the right spot. There we go. Push it in, push it down as far as it can go down in there, because you want those two pieces to really push together as much as possible. And then we're going to do the same up here. Now, if you use the rulers like this, then you don't get a crimp mark from the clamp. And I don't know about you, but I do not like crimp marks. They look ugly and they are unnecessary, and you can avoid them. So avoid ugly whenever possible, right? So this has made a really nice transition from the edge. Okay, let's find, we got a little extra glue in here. Rulers. Bone clamp, that'll work. Or bone thingy. Looking for something else that's plastic would be best. Something that's going to disperse the energy of the clamp across the whole space. See? So it disperses the tension of the clamp. Have I said that 5 times? Sorry if I have. Doesn't need to be a ruler. It can be anything flat and preferably plastic. The reason why I preferred the plastic... Oh, I do have wooden rulers. You can use the wooden rulers. Plastic sticks less if there's any residual glue. Okay. So here we're just going to massage this together. Just a little bit more, a little bit longer. What do you see in there? You can't tell what you see. I can't really turn the book any. Go like that. See? I use this on my jelly plate. Make some lines. There. Okay, we are clamped down. It looks like everything is even here. Everything looks to be pretty good in here. I've tried to squeeze that pretty tightly. Now, what else could I use here? Oh. Not really. It's kind of too big to do that. Let's see here. I, again, do not like clamp marks. I think it ruins the look of things. Again, that disperses the energy across that whole space. Let's see if I have another one. Ooh, that's a cool tag. pair of fry. Oh, come on, I gotta have something here. Shoes. That was a tag off of a pair of fry shoes. That's just a card. I've got a bunch of these. I got a bunch of room keys from my travels, so I can use those. That'll help. Okay, I'm just going to let that sit for a while and we will come back later. All right, guys. Chat soon. Bye. Okay, so real quickly, I just decided to run the Stabilo just around the very edges here. Just to give that photo just a touch more definition. A little more shadow in there. Just thought I'd show you that while we were here. When we do the unveiling, you don't go, oh, how did that get dark? What did she do? Now, the one thing I am concerned about already is look at that signature. That looks pretty dangerous to me. Looks pretty fragile. We're going to hope that it's not. But I can guarantee you some sort of reinforcement is going to have to happen inside of these pages. And it's a lot easier if I address it at this stage. I mean, what if I were to go through and put a piece of fabric in here and just put some glue in there? I think it would probably really help things out. Yeah, this is hard on these books. There's no doubt about it. Hard on the books. We're not really getting any closure on that particular part, are we? We want it to close. So you see how there's a little bit of a ridge line there. We did keep it from having an extreme ridge line. Let's just check these bottoms here real quick. Feels pretty good. Feels actually like they're coming together. Come together right now. Ooh, me. I want to go back to this page. This page has been really fun to work on. Okay, so I'm going to tell you real quick. Oh, nope, I'm not. I'm going to start a new video. Okay, guys, bye. Actually, be smaller than that. I think we're going to have to take this off. Yeah, I think we're good. Oh, I was going to bring you back and do that later. Oh well. You guys know how I work. I don't like to work on one single thing at a time. It's kind of why I'd rather just show you videoing my day instead of trying to make separate videos for each page, but I know that it doesn't work that way. Okay, come on. There we go. That one turned out really nice, I think. Put this away. Put this away. Now it's not totally dry. You can feel it in there. It's not crunchy yet. And there is a width to this. I know it does have a definite Now I did stick a lot of glue down into here, so hopefully that helps our pages stick in there. See how flat it's laying? It's generally not a good sign. I know I usually do this with my brown, but I did black on the other side. So I kind of need to stay with the same color for this page. And I probably will go over it with my brown once I dig it out. And we're just going to stick that into here until I figure out what I want to hang from there. Beautiful. It has a ton of texture. It has multiple colors in it, but very subtle coloring. Yeah, the texture is... Let's see if I can bring it out here just a touch. There it is. Again, this is a very dry pad, so that's why I'm able to do it as often as I am. If you have a wet pad, take your time. I'm actually okay with that. It gives us a little bit of just extra kind of scruftedness. A little more definition. I think I need to take the Stabilo around here. I prefer to use my paintbrush on my Stabilo if I am doing fine texture work. Not a real fan of doing it this way. It's just easier right at this second. I'm choosing one side to give it a little extra depth. Love it. This crayon, this purple crayon is beautiful. So as I build up the layer, I can see the colors that I want to add more into, right? It's not put everywhere, it's selective. And you see that little rim of green? How perfect was that? Great outline. And this page is going to split. It's really popping up that color. This paper has a very interesting texture now. It's not just paper anymore. It has a leather-like quality to it, truly. I like it. Just popping up this color because I'm liking what's happening, so I'm continuing with it. It's adding a good dimension to the piece. Just adjusting, fine-tuning. Again, this is the seedless preserves, I believe. Yeah. Beautiful. You don't see any white in there. See a little bit of the glue. It's made some white. This was probably supposed to close a little bit more there, but it's okay. It's not a part that's going to be seen, really. Yeah, that's just being super picky, which we know I am. Needed a little bit more of that purple. love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So the copper paint really works nicely with these. And the copper paint is just one of the Deco Art metallics. I think it's called the Ruby something. Michael's, yeah, just any copper paint will work fine. Acrylic paint. There they are. I think that page is done. Thanks so much for watching. All right, guys, we'll chat soon.